Again, sir, we're seeing a cause and effect relationship in our physical world. And that cause and effect relationship is the law of identity. Without the law of identity, guess what you don't get to have? Cause and effect relationships means no chemical reactions, no life, period, game over. Why? Because you don't have the ability to actually describe and distinguish between chemical A and chemical B. So you can either have a reaction or a compound. You can't distinguish between those things without the laws of identity, non-contradiction, and excluded middle. So, where do those come from? Why do they not change over time? And why are they going to be here again tomorrow? Because you have to have them to do the same science again tomorrow that you're wanting to do today.
So I gave you an argument why they can't be dependent, and then I provided a way in which they could be independent. Now I want to know why you think they're contingent, because A is A. It definitely couldn't be otherwise, right? Like, why would you hold that? Would be irrational. Like, why would you hold that something like A is A could be something other than A is A? Do you think A could be not A at the same time if God didn't exist?
Oh, no, sir, because if God didn't exist, neither would we, and neither would anything at all. We wouldn't be having this lovely discussion. What I'm talking about, sir, is if you're going to say, okay, great, yes, A is A, is
Mm-hmm.
that particular thing, that statement, A, is that a physical statement? Is that in the, can you touch that? Can you taste that? Can you weigh that? Or is that a metaphysical statement? Is it outside of the physical world?
What metaphysical means, though? Like, metaphysical just means like
I just
transcendentally
told you,
outward.
sir. Metaphysical means outside of the physical world.
No, it
Meta.
doesn't. That's
Supernatural would be another way of saying it, sir.
that's not what metaphysical means. So metaphysical. So I'm a transcendental idealist. So metaphysical means like something that's transcendently outward from me. So we're talking about the nature of the universe as it is in and of itself. That doesn't mean that it's outside of the physical. Like, for instance, physicalism is like a metaphysical position, right? Like it's a position on ontology. So like surely physicalism as an ontology is not outside of
Are,
is not,
are
not
you
outside of
debating
physical.
yourself, or what are you doing, sir?
I'm critiquing what you just said. I don't know
I
if you
don't give
understood
a
the critique
crap, sir. I
though.
really don't give a
But,
crap.
uh,
So what
m-
you're engaging in is masturbation. I don't really give a crap. So
Mr.
let's go.
Batman,
Let's go back to what we were talking about, sir, shall we?
Which part?
The
Which part would
fact
you like
that
to
you
discuss?
cannot do science without the God of the Bible alone. What belief system do you hold to, sir?
I'm an atheist.
Really?
Yeah.
So, you're an atheist, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know?
How do I know? Presumably there's a finish to the statement.
Yes, sir. How do you know? How do you know that you're an atheist? How do you know who you are? How do you know any statement at all to be true compared to something that which is not true? And how do you know any of those statements are absolutely true or false? Because
How
right
do
there
I
I'm talking
know?
about the law of identity, non-contradiction, and excluded middle. Where do those come from? Why do they never change over time? And why are they going to be here tomorrow so you and I can have this lovely conversation?
So the initial criticism I gave is why they can't have come from anywhere. Then
I'm
anything
sorry,
you
sir.
put
What
in
was
there.
your initial criticism, please?
So anything, if I say, let's say I say something is like reason giving for the law of logic, right? Like there's a God behind it that's making them true. This would beg the question, right? So because reason giving
Beg the question,
is
how
gonna.
so, sir? Beg the question, how so?
So if you use the thing you're attempting to justify, right? So the
No,
laws of
wait a minute.
logic,
Hang on a
laws of
second, sir. Hang on a
identity.
second. Hang on a second. So, if you're trying to justify air, but then in the same time you're trying to justify air, you're using air to keep yourself alive and put words in the air. Does that negate the ability for you to use air? Or does that negate your ability to actually point to an invisible substance in the physical world?
That seems rhetorically silly. That's not what I said.
Okay,
Do you know what
great.
begging the Do you know
So the
what
whole
begging the
fact of the
question
matter
is?
is, sir, then where do these laws come from? Because just saying, well, because of this, I said this. No, that doesn't answer
Sure.
it.
There's
That
a
does
second
not
part to
answer
that.
the question, sir. The
There's a
question is,
second part to it.
where do these laws, what are these laws contingent upon?
They're
Because
not contingent.
everything in our physical world decays over time. This
You think the
is
law of
called
identity
entropy.
decays?
Now, since everything in the physical world decays over time, sir, wait a minute. We've got these laws, these natural laws, these laws of entropy, thermodynamics, physics, logic, mathematics. We have all these laws, chemical reactions, laws of chemistry. They never change over time. Wait a minute. Where do laws? How do you have laws in a physical world that is constantly changing over time? Where do laws that never change? Where do those things come from? Because
They
it
come from
cannot come from
themselves.
the area, the
Well, they just
physical
came. They
world that
come
is
from
constantly
themselves.
changing over time.
They come from themselves. Why don't you answer that one? Let's go
Have
there.
a nice day. Next.
Because
Wait,
what
Mr. Batman, Mr. Batman.
what he's gonna want to say is he's gonna want to say, oh well, that's circular, right? But unfortunately, the system he proposed was circular, and that was my objection, right? So it's not the case. One, they're
It's
not
only
contingent.
circular if it's not
Two, they
true,
can't
sir.
be. They
Now,
can't be.
when I say the Bible
Only
is
circular if
true,
it's not true.
and because
It's
why?
not
Because the
either.
Bible says it's true. Why? Because the Bible says it's true. Is that circular? Absolutely.
Yes.
But is it false? No, it's not. Because the Bible has never been shown to be wrong in any area it makes a claim of authenticity.
Batman.
Mr. Batman, how does God create the laws of logic? How did he create
He
them?
didn't, sir. They're not created. There are certain laws that are attributes of the living God. You might want to read Romans chapter 1, starting at verse 18 through 32.
So wait, if the laws are attributes to the living God, you would say that do you believe in divine simplicity? Do you believe God is divine, like simple?
Well, I'm sorry, sir. I'm not going to say that God is in any particular kind of box that man has come up with. Don't really give a crap. Now, is God simple? Let me point out how simple God is. The Lord our God is how many? 47? 22? No, he's one. The Lord our God is one. But just because he's one, does that mean he's simple? No, because he's in such depth, we cannot know him in his complete essence. We'll never be able to know the depth of God. But
Are you
that's why
sola
we can live with
scriptura?
him in
He
eternity, because we're never
doesn't.
going to be able to know him all the
Okay,
way.
Mr. Batman, I personally think that God is closer to a penis than a mind.
Oh, lovely. Have a nice day.
Demolished, actually.
So wait, Mr. Batman, can you attack that
Have a
claim?
nice day, Mr. Penis.
Can
Oh
And
my
you
he's
attack
very
that claim?
goodness.
obviously not really here to
Mr.
discuss
Batman.
with us. He's just here
Mr.
to yell.
Batman.
He's trying to smoke a trouser trout.
No,
I mean,
I'm
I
not.
offered a very cordial discussion, and all he did was yell at me. I
Repent or
wasn't. I don't.
perish. Have a nice day.
Mr.
Next.
Bye,
Batman.
Mr. Batman.
Mr.
Bye.
Mr.
Batman.
Batman,
Yes, sir. How may I
so
help?
when I fucked your wife last night,
Oh my
she really
God.
liked it. Do you have any reasons to believe
Come
that's not
on
true?
now. How can I help you, sir?
Which part of Romans 1:18 has to do with the laws of logic being attributes of God?
118 through 32.
Yeah,
And
so
it says,
I
for
have this.
the invisible attributes of God, namely his eternal power and his divine